Please hold the palm. One palm to the Buddha. The first prostration. Second prostration. Third prostration. One palm to the Buddha again. Okay, please stay seated. Okay, please stay seated. Okay, as usual, we recite the Guan Yin Pusa Senhao for around 10 minutes before we start the class. Please hold the palm and follow me. 南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世 南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨。Okay, please follow me to recite Shakyamuni name for 3 times. Namo本师释迦牟尼佛。Namo本师释迦牟尼佛。Namo本师释迦牟尼佛。Okay. Okay, good morning all brothers and sisters. Now today is our first lesson for module 3. Some new faces never see before because never turn out, or some are new student, I don't know. Anyway, from today onward, as you know, the government eased the curb, the pandemic, so they will allow people to come in for the class. So there's no e-learning at the moment, okay? So if possible, try to come for the class once for the alternate week, every first and third week of Sunday, 9:45 to 11:15. Okay. Now our next class will be on 17th of April, as usual. Even fall on the month on the there are 5 weeks. We still, consider every first and third week of Sunday. Okay, for Dharma class. Okay, can you please refer to your textbook? Now, I believe all, come from the Module 3, all the students, so that you have some foundation, what is Module 2 is going on, as far as 3 vehicles are concerned. And let me, give me a few minutes to, recap what I've taught you for the Module 3. And the final fruition is Arahant. Now, Arahant means the liberator one, free from suffering. But having said that, from the Mahayana perspective, they are considered as a kind of a platform. It's not really perfect, right? As you know, the Buddha, his intention, the ultimate goal is, to attain Buddhahood. That means Mahayana vehicle. Mahayana Buddhism. We call it great vehicles. So as far as the textbook is concerned, it's very systematic and comprehensive. We finished the module 2, so this is the last chapter, right? We talk about great vehicle. I will explain to you later on great vehicle. And this module 3, we need 16 lessons to cover. A bit profound, in fact, very profound. And I try my best to make it simple, relate to you all. And if you are free, go back to read up. If any question or whatever, you can write a piece of paper, put on the table. I will try my best to answer your question. Okay? Now, so, this textbook is not biased, like, whether which is the best, whether, 3 vehicles are hard, or, Mahayana the best or whatever. But they give you a helicopter views, very systematic, and I just want to tell you, our ultimate goal, in fact, in Buddhism, our ultimate goal is to become Buddha. And Buddha means the enlightened one. You learned it before. Okay? Even the module 2, we talk about the Arahat, liberator one, attain liberation, nirvana, free from suffering, but that one is more on self-cultivation, right? More to yourself. But you come to the great vehicle, Bodhisattva vehicle, it's more on due to the great compassion, and to alleviate suffering from sentient beings. It's just a now Qing period, like today you come to Buddhist Lodge, and Tuesday is the actual day. So this weekend, so a lot of people come to worship to the ancestors. And this is Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva Tijang Pusa, but of course in the hell, want to alleviate all the suffering from the hell beings. And this actually basically to great compassion. What I mean, the great compassion. We will elaborate more when you come to the time we talk about the great compassion. Okay, so please refer to your textbook, page 203. Now you can see the title there, the distinctive Dharma of the great vehicle. The distinctive Dharma of the great vehicle, in Chinese called 大乘不共法. I think I give you Mandarin as well as Chinese so that you can learn both. Right, so great vehicle actually means Bodhisattva vehicles, 菩萨乘, not Buddha vehicle, okay? So it's Bodhisattva vehicle. Pusa. Okay, Bodhisattva vehicle, called great vehicle, 大乘. Refer to this one, great vehicle. Okay, one vehicle means Buddha vehicle, 一乘, one vehicle. Okay, means Buddha vehicle. Okay, the word distinctive, we'll explain the textbook. Please take a look on the PowerPoint first. Great vehicle, 大乘. Sanskrit called Mahayana. Alright? And 小乘, we call it small vehicle called Theravada. Right? Or sometimes you call Hinayana. But we try to avoid the words Hinayana. right? In contrast, Mahayana, Hinayana, like hidden, small, right? But actually, we try to use Theravada better, all right, to avoid, just like you big brother, I'm small brother. So it's very sensitive kind of expression. I remember when I studied in Bristol for my PhD, and my professor told me, try to avoid the word Hinayana, right? We use Theravada. Because small vehicle, 小乘. Okay, Mahayana, the word yana means vehicle or raft. Just like you must take the transportation to the Buddhist lodge, whether by bus, by taxi, by, no MRT here. But anyway, kind of transport, a vehicle. Small vehicle, of course, you only can cater for 3-4 passengers. If you're driving the lorry, then you cater for more passengers, something like that. So which evokes the image of Buddhist teaching as a raft or vehicle that can help one cross over the river of suffering, 此岸到彼岸来. This shore of suffering cross to the other shore of nirvana. This is how Chinese, they always say it, to the other shore. Of course, the other shore is attain enlightenment, free from suffering. So the Mahayana is thus the great vehicle. 大乘, 大乘. Okay, please refer to your textbook. So the distinctive Dharma of the great vehicle is based on the virtues common to the human. As I say, we cover on the module 1, we call it 5 vehicles. The main focus is on the human and divine being, 人天, right? But the main focus is on human, because only human beings can cultivate Dharma. And therefore, when you talk about Bodhisattva vehicles, we talk about those sages, Buddha or Bodhisattva. Of course, they will treat these 5 vehicles, 3 vehicles as a platform. Okay? Because this is as a platform, then we can go further, right? And as I told you just now, our ultimate goal in Buddhism is Bodhisattva. Bodhisattva means, Buddha. At the end of the day, become Buddha, enlightened one. So this is our ultimate goal, not Arahat, not 5 vehicles, right? 5 vehicles, but again, 5 vehicles are also very important because they're very fundamental. Only human beings can cultivate Dharma, okay? Not other animals. Although we talk about compassion, all beings, all sentient beings can become Buddha. In future, we will know about the Buddha nature, Fo-Xing. But having said that, we only refers to the human beings are more important rather than those animals. And the 6 cycles, cover those animals, hungry ghosts, and so forth. So, now here is it common to the human, heaven, Stravaka, and Pratyeka Buddha's vehicles, and explain the cautious deed and resulting virtues of the Buddha and Bodhisattvas. So, those 5 vehicles or 3 vehicles, even you talk about Arahat, is more superior than the 5 vehicles. But having said that, Arahat still got residual habit. I told you before, right? Still got residual habit. So therefore, still considered imperfect. So you see, if you refer to the textbook 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the 6 line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the 6 line on the right hand side, faultless, right? Faultless. So this is a technical Buddhist terms called 无漏, means they still have affliction, mental defilement, 烦恼. So consider imperfect, right? Not pure. Okay, next paragraph. Now, say according to the Lotus Sutra, I know this Lotus Sutra, Fa Hua Jing, they try to claim that it's a very important sutra in Buddhism. But of course, this is a Mahayana Sutra. I talk about Mahayana Buddhism, 大乘. So the only important reason for the Tathagata means Buddha. Buddhas have 10 names, Tathagata, 如来, Chinese called 如来, Tathagata. To appear in this world was to enable sentient beings to realize the Buddha's knowledge and views. That is to enable them to realize the Buddha's great Bodhi. Now, Bodhi means enlightenment, Puti, Bodhi. Just like Buddha, he sat under the Bodhi tree, right? Then became enlightened one. So Bodhi in Chinese called Puti, right? Means enlightenment, 觉悟, Bodhi tree. Okay, next paragraph. So the doctrines of becoming a Buddha, here they just give you an introduction, haven't go to the verse stanza yet. So the doctrine of becoming Buddha is called the great vehicles, right? Great vehicles in comparison to the small vehicle, just like we talk about 3 module 2, right? 3 vehicles, right? 3 vehicles. So the one is considered, small vehicle, 小乘, Chinese called 小乘, small vehicles. Now, so what's the meaning great? They explain to why you call it great vehicle, right? You see the 3rd line there, great. In this sense refers to the variety, superiority, and inclusiveness. So this in terms of quality and quantity. right? In terms of, if you use a mundane word, in terms of quality and quantity, they are more superior than, the three vehicles. All right? So we call it great, 大乘. It's just like great vehicle, you can, cater for more passengers, as I say already. Okay, 2 more lines. So the meaning of great vehicles cannot really be expressed in terms of relativity or great and small, but it is absolute. Right? It is absolute. Absolute means 绝对, absolute. We call it great. We are living in the relative world. Everything in contrast. This is called relative world, in horizontal line, A and B. And this is how we're suffering. Right? So this great is here. Absolute, this is called absolute, 绝对. Absolute in Chinese, right? Absolute. 绝对. This is relative, 相对. This is like we are living in this defiled world. And you and me now, we are suffering now. Huh? This is how we're suffering now. Now, so this one, of course, if you really compare, if you say this is a small vehicle, it means you're great one. So when the Buddhism transmitted to China during Eastern Han Dynasty, and this is how Mahayana Buddhism developed, become very, prosperous, very, prevail in China. But initially, originally from India, there's no such thing as Mahayana or small, Theravada Buddhism. It's until we transmitted to China. So from the China, the country perspective, we say, oh, we are great vehicle, so that we are great, then you are small vehicles. All right? In Buddhism, there's no small or great vehicle in India during that time. All right? And as you know, it's due to the different capacity of sentient beings. And during that time, that's why a lot of the Theravada Buddhism, they never recognize Mahayana Buddhism. 大乘非佛说 in Chinese. They say, no, this is not the Buddha teaching because it's transmitted to China, so it's not original. And they are not recognized. But in fact, in terms of history, in terms of doctrine, when you finish the whole module, you will know that actually they are related to each other. Because you're talking about Mahayana, it's actually original, came from Theravada Buddhism. All right? But they try to claim that, don't recognize this Mahayana Buddhism by the Buddha. Okay, back to the textbook. Now, so the word distinctive, 2 more lines, 不共 in Chinese, distinctive, has 2 meanings. It's referred to this Dharma absent from the human because it's much more superior, better than 5 vehicles. Not the same with the 5 vehicles, 不共, right? Something like that. And it indicates that mind and deeds, of Buddha and Bodhisattva constitute it. So that is different from the 5 or 3 vehicles. We covered it earlier. So, in fact, now they give you introduction what is great, then what is distinctive, to tell you the meaning of the wording first. Then now you can turn to page 204. Okay? So, great, that means because of small, then we say great. Great is actually referred to Bodhisattva and Buddha. This is our ultimate goal. Small vehicles, of course, is referring to the Arhat, that kind of things. So from the Mahayana perspective, they are considered still imperfect, although they are free from suffering, not the fun now, but still considered imperfect. Because our Buddha, the ultimate goal is, become Buddha. All right, become Buddha. So this is our ultimate goal. Okay, can you turn to page 204? Can you see the subtitle there? Resolving to attain Bodhi. So that is different because as far as the module 3 vehicles are concerned, we talk about to resolve the Bodhi renunciation, right? Because renunciation, 出离心, right? Renounce from this world. So a bit pessimistic and thought from the surface of meaning, say, stay away from the, the mundane world or something like that. But now here, he said resolving to, this is a motive, resolving to Bodhi, to attain Bodhi. Bodhi, right, means enlightenment, 菩提. So that is different, because the Bodhisattva spirit, 菩萨精神, is to benefit sentient beings, 利益众生. Not only self-cultivation, but to benefit all sentient beings. Therefore, we need the wisdom and compassion. So to them, the Theravada Buddhism, I didn't say that there are no compassion, But in comparison, right, compare with Mahayana, we are more greater, right? Great compassion, 大悲, just like 观音菩萨, 观音 Bodhisattva. It's just like Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva, 地藏菩萨. Also due to the compassion, that's why you want to alleviate the suffering from the hell beings. Right? So besides Qingming, people worship to the deceased one, the ancestor, then come to the 7 month, we call it Urumana festival, Ilan Pembai, and then still, talk about Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva, his kind of great spirit, to benefit the hell beings. So now here it said resolving to attain Bodhi, and this is the intention, and eventually then you can become Buddha. If you just want to have a mind, renounced mind, renounced from the world, then the goal is to attain liberation, only Nirvana. All right, then become Arhat. But here, Bodhi is to want to become Bodhisattva, or we say at the end of the day, Buddha, become Buddha. So now we can see the verse 113. Ashamed of not knowing, ashamed of not being able, ashamed of not being totally pure, the Arhat should turn to and enter the great vehicles. Well, I mean, we think that Arhat, if you think that this is the perfect one, this is our ultimate goal, then you stay put already. Right? Just like we say, after the degree, then you thought, that's all, the highest I can go. But if you know that the degree holder, BA, degree holder, whatever, still not enough. So you think there's an even higher education there, much more higher, postgraduate study. Then you go further. You say, not enough. I get a BA, not enough, bachelor degree. I want to study master. Even, I want to do the PhD. So similarly here, they realize that as an Arhat, they are considered still imperfect. So these are the 3 areas. For instance, you see here, ashamed of not knowing, because Buddha know everything, whether the mundane knowledge. And Buddha have a wisdom, right? I told you before, right? So what's the different knowledge and wisdom? 知识跟智慧. The wisdom came from the knowledge. So as a Buddha want to benefit all sentient beings, he must know all kinds of mundane knowledge. Computer knowledge, whatever, he know everything. Mathematics, computer engineering, whatever, chemistry, so they can help a lot of people. But Arhat different. It's just like if you do the degree, you just know the degree level, the kind of standard only. But if you do the postgraduate, you learn even more tougher, something like that. I mean, same logic. So here you see, look at the first paragraph. Right? You see how he explained to us. Now, say needless to say, practicing the great vehicles. All right, Buddha Dharma primarily means resolving to attain Bodhi. But the capacity of sentient being, 根基, vary because sentient beings are different. Whether Dao or short capacity, 顿or 低根, just like some people very smart, some people a bit stupid, different kind of mentality, capability. So the causes and conditions for resolving to attain the Bodhis also vary, also different. Okay, so can you see the subtitle there? From the Stravaka vehicles to Bodhisattva vehicles. And Stravaka vehicle in Chinese called Sengwen, listener. All right, you learned it before, right? In the module, 3 vehicles, I should say 3 vehicles. And the below one, they tell you there are 4 frictions, if you can recall, right? First, we call Strutapana, Anagami, the 3rd one, Arhat is the 4th one. Can you remember? They have to make sure they eradicate the 3 knots, And the Nirvana, there are 2 types of Nirvana. Nirvana with residue, Nirvana without residue. Just like here, look at the PowerPoint here. This actually in your textbook, you read it by yourself. Huh? For instance, here it says Nirvana with residue, 有一涅槃 in Chinese. So the cause, but not all the effect, karma of the reincarnation is cut off and removal of the obstacle of affliction. When we talk about Nirvana, it means free from suffering. So with residue, this residue in terms of physical body, still with physical body, but actually you are free from suffering. This is called Nirvana with residue. So therefore, if one who want to attain Nirvana, doesn't mean that must wait until we die. We leave the world. You thought Buddha attained Nirvana, then he died, he become, attain Nirvana. No, even in our present life, you still can become, attain Nirvana while you are living in this world with this physical body. So they call Nirvana with residue. So you can see here, but not that or what is known Dharma, that's the body, our body, physical body, which remain is subject to birth and death. But mentally, you are free from suffering. You still will fall sick or whatever. This is called Nirvana with residue. I give you an example, just a Buddha. He became Buddha at the age of 35. He preached for 45 years. Then he attained Nirvana at the age of 80, 80 岁. So 45 years. This throughout the 45 years, he actually attained Nirvana, no? But physically, the body is still there. So therefore, he still will fall sick. He still will have some limitation for his physical body, just like you and me. Okay? So this is called Nirvana with residue. Nirvana without residue, the other one is you are leaving the world, right? So you became, Arahat, attained Nirvana, but no more this physical body because you are passed away from this world. So this is called Nirvana without residue. Okay? Now, so if you turn to page 205 here, so basically the whole lot from just now that one, from Stravaka vehicle to Bodhisattva vehicles, because they will tell you the different fruition, there are some limitation, whatever. So this one you can read up by yourself. Then we see the the third paragraph. See, some of them felt ashamed upon understanding, because not only just knowing, right? Because just like you're doing the bachelor degree, your knowledge is there, but you're doing the postgraduate, you're more knowledgeable, something like that. So this one, the first one, according to the verse, ashamed for not knowing. A lot of things Arahat do no one, compared with the Buddha. Ashamed of not being able. Of course, Buddha, in terms of spiritual power, in terms of his capability, he's much more capable. A lot of things he's able to do, but Arahat cannot. Just like, children and adult, a lot of things, adult will be able to do it, but as a children, physically got some limitation, whatever, you're weak, so you cannot do it, something like that. So they say, ashamed for not being able. Then you see the verse there, ashamed for not being totally pure. Now, this pure in terms of for instance, Arahat still have a residual habit, but as for the Buddha or Bodhisattva, they don't have this residual habit, because they eradicate all those residual habits. So this is more pure, more pure than the Arahat. Also in terms of the wisdom, also in terms of the affliction. Okay? Now if you refer to page 205 here, it says some felt that ashamed of not upon understanding. Okay? That there were things they did not know, and that they were unable to match the Buddha, okay, who knew everything. Right? Buddha knows everything. Buddha can do everything. That's why I say, even those Buddhist scholars, although they got a PhD, people like me, but doesn't mean they know a lot of things. You are expert everything. You expert all the Dharma in Buddhism. No. But only Buddha, he will expert all the things in his teaching. So he's so-called like, he's a real PhD holder, Buddha. I always try to joke with the student. But not for the Buddhist scholar. He just only expert in certain tiny area, but Buddha knows everything. Buddha knows Theravada, Buddha knows Mahayana Buddhism, because it came from his mouth. He taught us the teaching, his doctrine, the Dharma. Okay, so go back to your textbook. So you say, they were unable to match the Buddha who knew everything, right? Know everything. Now, of course, subsequently, you give you an example, just like, probably you can take a look here. You see, for example, in the past, there was a person who went to the Jetavana. This is one of the vihara in India. Buddha was there. And ancient Indian monastery. This is one of the monastery. Wanting to be a monk there, but the Arahats investigated his fundamental capacity and found that he did not even have a little bit of good roots, and so unsuitable to give up lay life. Arahat only see on the surface only. You're not qualified, cannot. But the Buddha is different. So if he gave up lay life, he will not be able to attain enlightenment. This is how they see this person, right? But so they refuse to help him to become a monk, but the Buddha did so. Buddha see differently. Right? So Buddha help him, and soon he attained arahatship. So that's the different arahat and Buddha. Or you can say that that's the different, if you talk about education, the degree and the PhD different because different kind of training. If you do the research, you go very deep, broad and deep. But you do the degree kind of, bachelor degree, it's just on the surface only. You pass the exam, you get the award, the degree. Right? So that is different. You're doing the research or without doing the research, it will be different. It's just that you see things just on the surface. But if you do the research, you see very deep and try to dig. And this is how the scientists, they become scientists. They are invented something, they become scientists. And it's your copyright. Okay? Can you turn to page 206? Now, so this is how they say, ashamed of not being able totally pure. So arahat, this is how arahat they felt. They are at least these three things, not pure, not be able to like Buddha, and not knowing just like to match with the Buddha. And you see the fourth one, according to the verse 113, arahat should turn to, right, and enter the great vehicle. This is our final destination. Right? So therefore, Theravada Buddhism or Arahat is just like stepping stone. Well, this is only halfway of the journey, but it's not our final journey yet. It's just like you have to supposed to run 5 kilometers. Now Arahat is only until 3 kilometers. But this is not our final destination. We still got 2 more kilometers to go. Right? But some people stop there. Halfway through, some people stop 1 kilometer, 5 vehicles just at 1 kilometer, human or 2 kilometer, and this is Arahat is 3 kilometer, Bodhisattva is 4 kilometer, and become Buddha is a fifth one, the 5 kilometer. You need to run through the 5 kilometer. All right. So here, can you see the page 206? The last paragraph for this verse, 1, 2, come from the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 on the fifth one, on the right, the fifth line on the right hand side, come from the bottom. Arahat have not eliminated all their old habits. That means the residual habit I told you before. Affliction that Bodhisattva have cut off. It's just like Arahat only managed to cut it off 70-60%. But Bodhisattva and Buddha totally cut off 100%. That's why people score 70 marks. Some people score pass with flying color 100 marks. Distinction. So who is the best one? Of course, distinction 100 marks is the best one. Then you know that I only score 70 marks. So I should work harder. I must put in more time and effort to achieve the goal. If you think that no, enough. I know my capability. I just get my degree. Then okay, at least you become Arahat. It's good for you, self-cultivation. But if you want to become Bodhisattva, you have to work harder. Just like you want to get 100 marks, you have to work harder. Right? So it's fair and square. You see, a lot of people try to grumble to blame somebody. How come I cannot match with him? Jealousy. You jealous, no use. You jealous, nothing will never improve on. If you say, how come she looks so pretty? I'm so ugly. You're very jealous. You jealous of what? You jealous also cannot become pretty. Even more worse. Right? They must find a way to improve. You say, I should go and learn the Dharma, come for Dharma class. I didn't need to go for beauty shop to do something not artificial, not natural one. It's true, no? If you learn Dharma, if you're happy, have a Dharma joy, you don't need to go for facial one, You can save a lot of money, Module 1, Module 2, you use your own handphone, you take a look on your picture, your face, everything will change, impermanent. But if you change, look prettier and prettier, congratulations. 就对了. If you look ugly, wow, that means jialat. A lot of suffering. If something go wrong already. True. It's everything reflect from what your mind thinking. The face can tell one. In Chinese, there's a phrase called 无事不登三宝殿. People like you, me, a lot of people come to the temple. If you never feel that I nothing to do, then I come to the temple. Very few people. A lot of people come to the temple. They have some intention, mama. Wow, a lot of problem. I want to beg from the Buddha to bless me or whatever. Right now, you never say I come to the temple. For fun. To look at Buddha. Hello, Buddha. How are you? Are you fine? So-called 无事不登三宝殿. Sure got something you want to seeking for the help for the Buddha. Just like today come here, a lot of people come here because of chanting. And you come here because of Dharma class. Why not? And now they encourage you to force you to come back. Just like now government allows 70%, 75% of people have to go back to work. And people find it very uncomfortable, Right? People still prefer work from home, Last time you ask them to work from home, they find very uncomfortable. Now you want to go back, also feel very uncomfortable. Why? Wow, I have to make up again. They have to go and buy some new clothing. So things are, it's a kind of habit. Once you get used to it, sooner or later, it depends how you adopt it. Something like that. So here is the same thing. Arahat have not eliminated all their old habits. Aversion, the Buddha have cut it off. So that's the difference. And this is how their motive to enter into the great vehicles, because as an Arahat, they find that they are still considered imperfect. So this is how they're going to tell you according to the verse here. Okay, now move on to the next verse. Ways to enter great vehicles. Verse 114. Not tolerating the decline of the normal teaching, not tolerating the suffering of sentient being, through the rising of great compassion, enter into great vehicles. Now, it's very clear cut according to the verse. Just on the previous one, because through not be able to know, knowing, able, and not pure, that's the intention. And this is considered indirect method. There's two ways to enter into the great vehicles. One is direct. One is indirect. 常说直路跟回路。Chinese 直路 means very straightforward, direct. 回路 means you have to go one round, and this is called indirect. It's just like when you come to Buddhist lodge, probably this is a more direct. I don't know which one more direct, whether from Qing Road or from that one, Venerable, I don't know. I say, one is direct, one is indirect because I go around, circle, one more from Orchard or from the Muhammad Road or whatever, then go to Qing Road. Just now we travel this way, and if you drive this way, then from Venerable Road or something like that. So one is direct, one is indirect. So just now the previous one is considered indirect as an arhat. And this is the verse tell is the direct method. 这个叫直路 in Chinese. So not tolerating the decline of noble teaching. Right? And the Buddha teaching is a perfected teaching. We should develop further. But nobody going to spread. And the thing become declining. So you are not tolerating 不能圣教衰 in Chinese. So as a Buddhist, as a Mahayanist, 大乘, especially Mahayanist, you know that this is our duty, our responsibility to spread the Dharma, to benefit more sentient beings. But the other way around, a lot of Buddhists, very pessimistic, very introvert, more to yourself. I give you an example, just like Christian. They are very passionate, 很热情, They go to house by house to promote their religion. They throw one paper into the door there. I don't care whether you read or don't read. So there's a possibility, probably out of 100 houses, one may read it because they got the problems. 无事不登三宝殿嘛, just as I say already. So they say, there's a church near my house or there's a church somewhere there. So I go to the church. You see, Buddhism, no. Buddhism is I wait for you to come. To them, is that they walk out to pull people in. So you see, it's a different attitude, different mentality. You think this is good? Well, Depends on which perspective you look at it. He said, no. I want people 随缘，常讲随缘。Right? Buddhism says 随缘嘛 don't force. You know. Yeah, correct. But do you know what do you mean by 随缘? A lot of people don't know. You know, they so 随缘say, I stay put. And if I wait for people to come. If you are doing business, you wait for people to come, then you die. You must go and promote your product so that people will come and buy. You know, the Johor and Singapore now, they reopen the border. You look at the YouTube, those Malaysians selling the... Of course, I'm vegetarian. You know, they're selling the curry, 鱼头 or fish head. Very popular. A lot of Singaporeans go there and eat, you know. It's so they cook. And now because reopen, and a lot of Singaporeans want to go there. Why? Cheap and good or delicious. Why not? So when border closed, they cannot sit down there and wait for customer to come, but no customer. Nobody can go there. So you have to reach out to promote. Buddhism is the other way. Because I went to the church. I tell you, in Bristol, I went to the church so many times as a monk. And we see how people promote that religion. Those pastors, or Catholic church, I went to the boarding school and see how they run the boarding school. You know, pastor and priest, right? And they are very successful. Of course, the way they do it, you find it very uneasy, very uncomfortable. 太过分了. But in the way, you know, from another angle, look at it, you say, wow, they are very passionate, 很热情. And Buddhist, not for Buddhists. You know, I went to NUS, Buddhist Society, they invited me long ago for the talk. And you look at they do have a Christian fellowship. NTU, they do have 2 Christian fellowship, NTU, but I don't know now. The Buddhist Society only 1. No, I'm not talking about 1 or 2. But those members, but a lot of they call sleeping members. They join just like want to, just for the sake of joining, but they really want to do something, you know, play their role or something like that. So talking about this one, I just want to highlight to you all that, you know, they thought that because from the God Almighty God, you know, I should spread, the religion is so good, I should spread to everybody, to let more people know. It's just like this one, not tolerating the decline of the normal teaching. If nobody going to promote to spread. So if you practice the Bodhisattva path, then you cannot just cultivate by yourself, no? You have to go out to benefit sentient beings, no? To help people, no? You cannot stay in your house, no? Stay put, you know? Okay? But if you say, no, I'm not capable to do it, I'm not eloquent, I cannot talk, then it's okay. You cultivate yourself. At least you don't harm people. But if you want to practice the Bodhisattva spirit, then that's a different issue. So a lot of people say, hey, I received the Bodhisattva precepts. Also, Pusache, wow, I'm more superior, I'm more higher than you. No, I'm big brother, you're small brother. But if you receive Bodhisattva precepts, you make sure you practice the Bodhisattva spirit. Not just receive the precept, that's all. Yeah? But a lot of people don't know. See? So here they say, not tolerating the decline of the normal teaching. The second one, not tolerating the suffering of sentient beings. There are so many sentient beings suffer in the world now, or in this universe, including you and me, due to this pandemic. We also suffering. Everybody's suffering. And yesterday came out the news. Now the Omicron, B2 and B1, I don't know how that. The combination, now it's a combination according to Hong Kong. You know, Hong Kong initially very serious and now dropped already to below 4,000. And I think it's from Hong Kong, this news. They say they scared already. They make sure people go to jab. More people go to jab and have our own self, do the ART test more frequent because this variant 变种 become more powerful. You hear powerful, you're disappointed already.
and powerful in terms of 10% higher in terms of spreading, compared with Omicron. So although Singapore government say, okay, optional, you go out, out from the enclosed space, from the house, you don't need to wear the mask. Optional, Wow, last time cannot, compulsory as well. But you look at a lot of people, Singaporean,惊死啦，那 Singaporean 真惊死，你好见啊，惊输甲惊死啦，this is our spirit, high spirit. 惊输惊死yeah, correct. 惊输惊死 too. And you see a lot of people wearing masks, Of course, those want to become hero one, they don't wear masks. But in-house, of course. Now, you see, government make it optional doesn't mean that there's no virus. There are viruses, but the problem is under control. So they have to ease the curve because economy is economic reason, Doesn't mean no virus, So therefore, you go out. Of course, if you go to garden, of course you jogging, you need to wear, But if crowded place or whatever in-house, you definitely have to wear one. And I tell you, the mask is very important, You just imagine Singapore, few thousand, now less than 10,000, So chances of getting it very high, my students surrounding one, I heard, tung, 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 the name all came out. Close contact, depend on luck, sometimes we deal. And you see, that wouldn't include those people didn't report to go to clinic and see doctor, Some people are not serious when they do themselves, So government do have this figure, don't know. But actual figure is more than that, Of course, according to government survey, 20% population Singapore, 现在100多万嘛 Singapore, how many million? 5.2 million population, something like that. 1 million 丢了 100%, 20% get it. Not 50%, 20%. So you just imagine the chances is very high. So better be careful. You can say, I come for Dharma class, I already taken the refuge to Tibetan. I got 36 Dharma protector, then keep 36. So. You say Lee Hsien Loong, the bodyguard also less than 36. 哪里有这么多 President Halimah 没有这么多。You know, Lee Hsien Loong just finished the visit to US United States. You know how many bodyguard he brought? The bodyguard, they train 2个because 一飞機咧。now they also got bodyguard. So the most you bring 2, then air ticket, who to pay? You pay, I pay. Correct or not? And talking about suffering, and now because of the Russia and Ukraine war, so all affected. The petrol price go up. And you receive the bill, the electricity will go up 10%. What to do? That's why in Buddhism talk about dependent origination. If somebody get into trouble, you also will get into trouble. Somebody in trouble, you also get into trouble. 人家好，我们才会好。You can say, Ukraine war, nothing, very far from Singapore, nothing to do with me. And if you read the newspaper, how can Singapore want to sanction to Russia? Do they read the newspaper? And this is what Lee Hsien Loong tried to explain to us. Of course, initially it's Teo Chi Hian, translated into Chinese and published in a Chinese newspaper. And he went to clarify Singapore's stand. Just a small country. Some people say, talkative, I keep your mouth shut. Just a small country, become neutral better. Please have a conflict with Russia. You see, some people do something, there must be a reason behind one. Like those empty seat one, also got reason behind one. Either they don't want to come due to some commitment, or they got it with COVID, or who knows. Or they reserve a seat for those cannot be seen one. People worship the brother and sister, Ho Yati, good brother and sister. The front row, Bolanje, she very brave, no. It's circus seat, no. It's second row. The front row all reserved for the good brother and sister. No. Then you go get circus seat. You better be careful. Go and look for some bodyguard to protect you, bring you down to the car park to take taxi. Okay, so not tolerating the suffering of sentient beings through the arising of great compassion. And this is a very important thing because due to great compassion, So therefore, you can sacrifice yourself. You want to benefit the sentient being. 大悲, great compassion. Compassion. Some people use the word, English word, loving kindness. And some people say different. Loving kindness 不是 compassion. But I tell you, Chinese will be easier. Chinese very straightforward. 慈悲. And the two different Chinese characters, different meaning. 慈给众生快乐，悲给众生拔苦。悲 is to elevate the suffering from sentient being. And 慈 is to instead the kind of bring happiness to sentient being. 给众生快乐。So 离苦得乐咯。This is 慈悲。离苦得乐就是慈悲 in Chinese. Forwards. And only Buddhism talk about compassion. Not other religion. And the Christianity and Catholic talk about love. 博爱 universal love. Love. God love you. Right? That one is called universal love. 博爱. In Chinese. What is the between love and compassion? Let me tell you. Love is something to in connection with self, yourself. There's an ego there. I give you an example. I love you. 我爱你. That's subject to you and the other party, you know. So it's everything in contrast, you know. Because I like you also, I love you. Then you probably also you love. Then we marry. That's how they marry. But this is subject to changes, you know. If condition is no more there, you know, then how? I hate you. 我恨你. You know what I mean? So it's something to do with self. 我. There's a self-attachment. We attach to it. But what is compassion? Compassion is beyond love. I give you a simple explanation now. Beyond love. That means no self. The sound is self, right? In connection with no self. 无我. And this is called compassion. So if you can develop from love to compassion, congratulations, 你可以白头偕老了, your family. If you say, I love my wife, I love my husband, I tell you, you don't like very happy, overjoyed, you know. The condition no more there. Next time she said, I hate you. Right? If you go beyond that, there's no self. This is something to do with self. Self and no self are a lot different. You know, right? No self, 无我嘛. You learned it before. And Buddhism talk about no self. And no self is beyond self. So compassion is beyond love. So due to compassion, Bodhisattva benefit all sentient beings, regardless. You see, regardless, whether I love you or I hate you, equal, 同等, equality. And this is called compassion. They don't have the differentiated mind, 分别心, because I love you, I like you, so I benefit you. Then I hate you, no, so I only see, I don't care. This shows that there's a difference between the two, right? And this is not compassion. Clear? So Bodhisattva is, don't care who you are. As long as you are suffer, you're raining, then I benefit. I will still take care of you. Regardless of whether you are Christian, you are Catholic, you are Muslim, to Bodhisattva is all the same. You know our national anthem, regardless of race, language, and religion. This is something, I said something like compassion. So this is actually the anthem was written by our I think he was a foreign minister, Rajanaram, right? The Indian one, right? Wow, the one probably is a Buddhist. They pretend as a Hindu. Probably he knows some Buddhism. So you go and tell this and go to his Facebook. You know, our national anthem, regardless of tung, 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 do, re, mi. And this is because of Buddhism talk about compassion. Okay, so compassion, according to Buddhism, compassion is an aspiration, a state of mind. Wanting others to be free from suffering. It's not passive. It is not empathy alone. Okay, but rather an empathetic tactic, right? Altruism. Want to save the kind of sentient being. That actively strive to free others from suffering. Okay? So genuine compassion must have both wisdom and loving kindness. You see, so some people treat loving kindness is same like compassion. Some people treat it like compassion and loving kindness. They mean 慈悲, something like that. Wisdom. Wisdom. And loving kindness is just like compassion in English. Okay? Some they can be used, two terms. Okay? So they say, it's due to the arising of great compassion, enter into the great vehicles, right? According to the verse here. So, the rest, I think, not difficult. You read up by yourself. I already explained to you the compassion already. Okay? So now turn to page 208. So, how do we enter into the great vehicle? I told you before, whether direct or indirect, whether from arahat, whether from, not being able to know, not pure and whatever, then from, stravaka, enter into the great vehicle, right? So whether direct or indirect. So now another capacity of sentient beings. Because of that, they go the other way, then go to at the end, enter the great vehicles. Just like I told you, a Buddhist Lord, Ji Siling, you can come from Riverberry Road, Kim Yam Road. Where? Here only 2 roads only. Any other, from any other place can come to Buddhist Lodge? Oh, one more. This is by land one, by air, helicopter. But you must land on the rooftop. Singapore now to have it. I think it's Kim Yam, right? Here only 2 roads, right? Kim Yam and Riverberry. So here is to tell you different direction. So now this is different, one of the capacity of sentient being. Enter through the 3 vehicles. So you know already what are the 3 vehicles. Alright? Stravaka, Patriarchal Buddha, and Bodhisattva. Senwu Yeje Pusa. You just finished your module, last module. Where now? This is called 3 vehicles. So this enter through the 3 vehicles. Can you see the verse 115? Some enter with faithful vows. 信愿, faithful vow. Vow, 愿, is very important in Mahayana Buddhism. Just like Siddhikapa Bodhisattva, Dijang Pusa, he or she made such a great vows. He made a vows that I want to elevate all the hell beings free from the hell. You think possible? 第一众生呢？第一不空，誓不成佛。I don't want to become Buddha until I elevate all out hell beings all out from the hell. Do you think possible? Possible. Every day, everything in, out, in, out. Some people have a bad karma, serious karma, go in. Some people finish those suffering term or something, they come out. So in, out, non-stop. Any second, every moment, any moment, you can see people around. Right? So that's different. So vow, like Guan Yin Pusa also make such a vow. Pusen Pusa. All Bodhisattva, all Buddha. As far as the Mahayana Buddhism is concerned, vow is very important. Yuan. They give you a motivation, the energy, a sort of like driving force. Just like you can make such a vow, or 发愿. Okay, I give you an example. Those people married, right? They go RM, during the wedding ceremony, I vow to love you for my whole life. Talking a lot of things, This also makes such a vow. Just like you come to the Dharma class, you say, I made a vow, make sure I finish all the 3 modules. Regardless, you may have something happen to you, some commitment and so on and so forth. You see, 3 modules, this one until end of this year, probably last year 2 years only. Of course, you compare with Dharma talk is 1 time, 2 time, the most 1 month, 2 months, finish already. But as I told you, you really want to learn Dharma in the systematic way and very comprehensive, and also depend what sort of Dharma class. Some people ask you to read Sutra, 读经, that one called Dharma class. That one is not Dharma class. Dharma class is to give you a proper training. From the basic one to the profound one in terms of Dharma. Just like you go to outside secondary school to receive the education from primary, secondary school, JC, university. So it's a very systematic one. This thing in sequence. Dharma talk is different. No? Dharma talk can jump anyhow topic. No? Four Noble Truths, Eightfold Path, Jump one, top. So very scattered one, You say, I attended so many Dharma talk, I know some Dharma. You become very arrogant already. In Chinese called 似懂非懂, 半堂赛. How can you say 半堂赛? You say they don't know, actually they know. You say they know all, no. They just very scattered one. 很散的, scattered. That's why you want to learn Dharma class, learn the Dharma, then you study Dharma class, then it's a commitment, you have to pay for the price. No free meal in this world, although here they give you free meal. People also say, no free lunch in this world, but now you can find free lunch. Not only free lunch, I heard it's lunch and dinner also free, but no breakfast. Breakfast bo, that means you have to put in the effort one. You don't put in the effort, you want to thinking about the great achievement, very difficult. So if you want to know the Dharma, then you study Dharma class. Then with the knowledge of basic Dharma, then if you read any other sutra or attend anyhow Dharma talk, any Dharma talk, will help you a lot. Definitely, for sure. So here, some enter with the faithful vow, 从信愿路, and this is more emotion and just through belief. Those people go for chanting. They like chanting. Chanting also part of cultivation, is 一种修行. But if you chant without knowing the meaning, then it's meaningless. Right? Because you don't know the Dharma, but you're very good in chanting. 大悲咒, 阿弥陀经, 往生咒, 佛号, whatever. But without knowing the knowing the meaning is meaningless, because 只有修福报而已嘛. No wisdom. If no wisdom, how to eradicate our affliction, 烦恼? No. And in Buddhism, the most important thing is to eliminate all the affliction, 断烦恼. Right? So here they say, some enter with the faithful vow. So it's referred to those, we should say, Dao capacity. 比较钝根, not so smart one. Because they don't really interested about Dharma, that kind of. Of course, there are different capacity of sentient being, right? Some people like chanting, some people like to know the Dharma. But if you both cultivate both, you know the Dharma and you do the chanting, and that is more meaningful. No, not only just Buddhist lodge. You see those auntie, uncle, just now walk past, they very surprised to see you. We go there chanting, you sit down here to attend lesson with the textbook. Then they look at me, go pang facial like spaceman like that. They talk. They look at me. The monk go there and chanting. Then you stand here and give a talk. And see, most of them, I didn't say all. Even other temple or other places, most of them they are normal people. Some they are not Buddhist. Even Buddhists they don't know Dharma one, so they just go and worship. But of course it's good lah, to respect to your ancestor or whatever. 因为这个是一个孝道嘛 also good. But consider imperfect. If you know the Dharma, you go for chanting, then even better, as I say. Okay? So they say some enter with the faithful vow, some enter with wisdom. This is more intellectual. This is considered sharp capacity, 立根的 sharp capacity. Like in Buddhism got Dao and sharp capacity. Right? Dao and sharp capacity. So, the first one is referred to more emotion one. And the second one, enter with wisdom, some with compassion. So it's more intellectual. And as far as the Buddhism is concerned, intellectual and belief, we call it faith, faith and understanding have to be together in parallel. 叫福慧双修. People like you come here want to understand Dharma, learn the Dharma, therefore you join the Dharma class, but this more on the wisdom part, the wisdom, more, as I say, intellectual. But if you just intellectual more on the wisdom one, this is considered one-sided, If you just chanting without knowing, that's another one-sided, one extreme. So become two extreme. So Buddhism talk about middle path, 中道. So people like you learn the Dharma at the same time. If you are free, you also can join the chanting, or your own self simple chanting, or simple meditation. Okay? You can say, I am more intellectual, no, 我比较 short capacity, you are dull capacity, 你是笨蛋的，我聪明的. Then you try to look down people, cannot. Or become very arrogant, more high class, You see, I carry the book, the way to Buddhahood, not to the heaven, I always try to joke with the student, people during the weekend, Sunday, go to the church. You know what they carry? Just like I was in England. They carry the Bible. Whether Old Testament or New Testament. Right? They carry Bible to the church. You know what they carry? They carry the incense paper, the chopstick, whatever. And you see a lot of Buddhist temple, people go there, you know what they carry? Chopstick, xiang, incense paper, fruits, everything. 大包小包, you really pity those, some very old senior citizens. They just carry that. Then take bus, MRT, And you see those church, 很辛烂的, just carry Bible. Bible is not heavy. And some Bible, they modify into a very small booklet only. I was there, there's a German guy, he did a master, and master degree only 1 year only, top course MA. So before he went back to Germany, he asked me, say, are you a Buddhist man? I said, yeah, of course, now we chit-chat, Of course, religion, very sensitive issue. I said, yeah, your God very great. And he said, I want to give you, I don't know what to give you. Actually, my heart thinking, you should give me money. In money, I can go and buy a lot of things I want. You don't know what I want to buy. No, I'm joking. He said, you do buy? Can I give you Bible? I said, why not? He said, yeah, okay, Bible. Okay, Bible. And he said, okay, so you can accept, I give you Bible. So one day he gave me the small one, very handy, can put inside a pocket. I have it in my bookshelf. That one is a New Testament. I saw they got Old and New Testament. And you see, this is how they go to the church to become very high class. Wow. They purposely go MRT, show Bible, And we Buddhists, even you come here for Dharma class, the way to Buddhahood, instead of the front page, you turn over. Right? You scared people ask you, 你去哪里啊？上课有上课咩？佛教有上课的咩？不是去拜拜咩？ Something like that. Right? You see, in fact, Buddhism is just like other religion because education, Buddha education, 佛教嘛，佛教. You look at the Chinese word, 佛教. You know what is 佛教? 佛陀的教义 in Chinese means Buddha's education. 佛陀的教义，像这种就是一种教育。Like this one, we refer to this one. Of course, you go chanting also consider education. But this is more on the class one, learning. You see why I want to say this one is nothing to do with the textbook or whatever. It's to let you know that you must have a right attitude and mentality. Buddhism just carry about, great vehicle. It defeats the purpose. Right? All these are Buddha teaching. So you must know what Buddha, his intention, want us to do. And what role is supposed to play. Not just sit down here, I know Four Noble Truths, Eightfold Path, all these are theory. But how to put into practice? You see, Christian people, the teaching Bible is nothing. I've seen already. It's very simple one. 就是我们的 5 vehicles 人天very simple one. But having said that, they are very cooperative. Simple, easy to do, not difficult. So everybody can do it. And they are more lively. They are really benefit sentient being, very passionate. Just like the way they do, sometimes you find that very 讨厌. Don't like them. Overdo it. Sometimes they say overdo it. They get it kill. And as you know, we already City Harvest Church. 他们没什么，他做得比你好better than Buddhists Although our teaching is better, but the way the Buddhists behave, you cannot compete with them. 我们不能跟人家比的，我们会骗你的。Right? Then you always give them say, our teaching is better. Better so what? Better nobody practice. Their teaching is very simple. And they know how to relate to daily life. And they're very happy. And they want to benefit their Bible teaching to more people as possible. And we Buddhists, you can say probably the character is very introvert. So everything silence. You say keep silence. Then you say Buddha say keep silence. My Time to talk, you don't talk. Time don't need to talk, you talk a lot. People go for 八关斋. Keep silence. No more talking. 静语. People can 静语? No. They go to toilet. 你刚才吃什么I conducted so many 八关斋 already. I mean, not really 八关斋, the retreat. You put a signboard there, keep silence. 不要讲话，静语They don't care, no. They talk. That just nothing happened. And you must know that why people ask you to keep silence. There must be a reason behind. Keep your mouth shut, you don't shut. Why not? There must be a reason behind. So you must find out what, how, why. Right? Why Buddha say that? Why cannot do that? So there must be a reason behind. They are not talking for the fun. So here, the first one, some enter with a faithful vow. So this is refer to the more on the belief, more emotion, 比较感性的. Some enter with the wisdom. This is more intellectual. And some with compassion. You say, Venerable, you say 2 only faith and understanding, 福慧双修 How can come out another one? Compassion, 慈悲. 慈悲 is a combination of wisdom and faith. 懂吗? When you talk about compassion, as I just now told you, it's beyond love. Love is something to do with self. Compassion is in connection with no self, 无我. And this is wisdom. No self is wisdom. So therefore, compassion must be in connection with wisdom, 跟智慧挂钩. Right? You can say, you're very kind. 你懂那些 Chinese 他很慈悲 You always see people say, 你很慈悲 Actually, they misuse the word. 慈悲 must have a wisdom. Where got wisdom? He or she where got wisdom? Didn't come for Dharma class. We didn't read the sutra, the textbook. No nothing. And you say he very 慈悲. And some people, you're very kind. 可以你讲 kind. 你很善良Right? So in fact, you're telling lie,他没有慈悲，你讲他慈悲Correct not? And you know how come people when you say 菩萨, you always address people as 菩萨 in the temple. But in fact, it's not 菩萨, 他是菩萨, 泥菩萨. Chinese 泥菩萨 is not a real one. That one 自身难保，自己搞唔掂. When somebody tell you, say, you are Bodhisattva 菩萨, you know what is their intention? 菩萨. So we must have a own self-reflection, Am I a Bodhisattva? No, 泥菩萨. Okay. They have to do something about it. Why not? 很多人不懂哎，你 you come to Buddhist law 它是比较净土嘛，念阿弥陀佛，阿弥陀佛。You know what they see when they see you say 阿弥陀佛？ Do you know in China? 哎呦 ，no time to talk. Okay, next time remind me in China 啊，2个字啊，dot remind me next time. Okay, here. So this one they try to emphasize, two, but beside the two, one more, some with compassion. This compassion is a combination of wisdom and faith, faith and understanding. Okay, page 209. And the other group of people entering through the other vehicles, not 3 vehicles, So you see the verse 116. Some enter as Stravaka, 声闻. You know the Stravaka, right? Listener in English? Listener, hearer. Those during the Buddha time follow the Buddha teaching, to listen to the Buddha talk, Dharma talk. So they call Stravaka, 声闻. And some enter as divine being. You know divine being? 天人, those God. According to Buddhism, 3 realms in the realm of desire, in the realm of form, in the realm of formlessness, and 无色界. 3 realms consist of 28 heavens, 28天. So in fact, there are so many gods. All fall into different category. J Emperor God, 一王大帝. This is how Chinese Hokkien people worship to that means the most powerful one, God, 天公. Okay? You see, some enter as Stravaka, some enter as divine being because they found that when I finish my good fortune, 福报经 the end already, then I will descend to the earth again. And also slowly depend on your karma, whether, depend on your karma, whether in the 6th cycle, which cycle are you in, whether human or animal, hungry ghosts, and so on and so forth. So some enter as divine being. And some as humans. People like you and me. We study Dharma and we know that, due to great compassion, you want to attain Bodhi, to resolve the mind, Puti Sing, Fa Puti Sing. And we want to become Bodhisattva to benefit all sentient beings. So can you turn to the next page 210. I think I stop here. I finished just now. In China, just now what I'm talking. Otherwise, 不记啊 2 weeks, then I got so many things I forgot. About what? 好像忘记了. China what? Talking about what? Just now the topic in China.阿弥陀佛. There's a Chinese phrase in China. 家家阿弥陀，户户观世音. Have you heard before? That means during China that time, when Buddhism transmitted to China, when they transmitted to China, during Eastern Han Dynasty, these are more recognized, Dong Han. So when they transmitted to China, China got Taoism, got Confucianism, all this. And this probably also depend on the condition in China, 刚好那个因缘. And Chinese people, although Buddhism transmitted to China, and Buddha was释迦牟尼佛, Shakyamuni Buddha from India. Because of Shakyamuni Buddha, then we know other Buddhas in Buddhism. Right? 因为释迦牟尼佛告诉我们嘛, told us. But very strange, Chinese people, they don't 念释迦牟尼佛. Do you see people say, 释迦牟尼佛? 哇, 释迦牟尼佛, 5字咧. 阿弥陀佛, 4个咧. So 阿弥陀佛 is more easier, very strong. Then 很顺口嘛. 阿弥陀佛, 阿弥陀佛. You ask an old lady, say, 釋迦牟尼佛, 哎呦, kena ampun咧. So, I guess because of that. So Chinese people, awe me, and people like kopi awe ma, coca kui awe. You like kopi awe ma, coffee ma. So that's one of the reasons why I guess I didn't do the research. So when you refer to the Buddha, 他会念阿弥陀佛. That's why Pure Land School very popular even in this Buddhist lodge. Right. 户户观世音，家家阿弥陀佛观世音 and 观音菩萨 also very popular in China. Of course, Bodhisattva, there are so many Bodhisattva, 文殊师满殊利啦，文殊师利啦，地藏菩萨、悉地嘎巴啦，普贤啊，观音啊 ，these 4 great Bodhisattva, 四大菩萨。Why only I chant only 观音菩萨？ But 观音菩萨 also very close to sentient being in China, 在现女生 also have a historical reason behind. And you need 很顺门，就文殊师利，哇，4个字咧，观音 in short 2个字咧。普贤 also 2个字啦，two words. So therefore, in terms of Buddha, 阿弥陀佛 become very popular, very common. In terms of Bodhisattva, 观音菩萨。You know what I mean? So these two represent, especially 观音菩萨 represent all the Bodhisattva. Okay? 这样懂了吗？ So when you see people, 阿弥陀佛, I mean, this first is a sort of blessing. Second, they also want you to become 阿弥陀佛，或者以后可以去西方极乐世界阿弥陀佛。That's their intention. Of course, people say 阿弥陀佛，他不可能讲说观音菩萨 ，right? Because that one more, the flow is different. I guess I don't know. Okay, so 11:15 today we stop here. Right, so I told you already this module, more interesting, and definitely in terms of Dharma, next time when you continue, you'll know more, and you know what I meant, right? Because next time we'll talk about 6 parameters and so on and so forth. Okay, please hold the farm and shall we do the dedication? May all the merits thus accumulated be dedicated to all sentient beings. May all sentient beings and I together attain Buddhahood. Okay, please stand up. Okay, one bow to the Buddha. Okay, see you all next lesson. Okay, raining, be careful.